All right, guys. This is the recap show for UFC Vegas 108, brought to you by sherdog.com, live on the Sherdog YouTube page. My name is Keith Shillan. We have a lot of action to talk about. We had 12 fights, a lot of bangers, and there's nobody I'd rather talk to. The voice you just heard.
We had 11 fights, and Carol Hoza and Nora Cornell doing something.
There you go. The man's voice you just heard is the person I want to talk to you about these fights more than anybody. He, of course, is the senior editor of sherdog.com, the great Ben Duffy. Ben, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. It's good to be back. We've had some guests over the last couple of weeks, but we actually did a preview and recap for the same card together for what feels like the first time in almost a month. So, yeah, it's good to be back. And this was an interesting night of fights.
Yeah, it was. On paper, this is one of the worst on paper cards. But as people always say, every single time they get in in our comments, they say, hey, it might be a bad card on paper, but it can be some bangers. And the people who said that absolutely delivered, as we had multiple fights as possible fight of the years. We'll get to that in a second. This will still be for a recap show. I think I'm guessing it'll be a little bit on the shorter side because a lot of times we talk about matchmaking and divisional relevance. Obviously, we didn't have. I think we had 3 ranked fighters on the entire card. So obviously, and you already dissed one of those fights, so it'll be a little quicker. Plus, I have to be at a softball field. I got to be up in like 5 hours. Ben, you wouldn't believe the name of the tournament that my daughter's team is in. They won the pool play. They got the 2 seed. They're in the quarterfinals. This is actually her last tournament with a team that she's been with for 5 years. She ended up taking a step up, joining the national team. So she'll be getting a lot more showcasing and a lot more extremely high-level traveling around the country. But, Ben, you are a historian. You are as knowledgeable as it comes. Do you know who Lizzie Borden is?
Yes. She is the young lady who famously killed her parents with an axe.
That is not true. She is the young lady who got accused of killing her parents, and she was acquitted of that.
Detective Keith, exonerating people 200 years later. Like,
I want to make sure we don't get sued by any ancestors.
the Borden family.
But so it's in Fall River, Mass. That's where it is. They named a tournament after Lizzie Borden. It's like, what the hell? I mean, could you imagine 100 years from now having a softball tournament named after O.J. Simpson or Ted Bundy or something like? I mean, I say, actually, O.J. would fit because he also was acquitted, and it was a double murder, and it was, Lizzie Borden was a hatchet, O.J. was a knife, but.
So are you just gonna like do a bunch of puns? Like, go up there, Lila, just take your cuts.
Just kill it. Yeah, they were like they're giving out like rings, and I'm like, they should give out hatchets. Anyways. Let's get to the action. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We'll try to get to as many comments as possible. In the main event, it was originally supposed to be Tatsuro Taira versus Amir Albazi. That obviously did not happen. On days noted, Hyun Sung Park, who was going to take on Steve Erceg, instead gets absolutely catapulted into the main event. I thought Erceg was a step up in competition. Never mind Taira, as Tatsuro Taira gracefully accepted that challenge. He won by second round submission. Ben, obviously this was a mismatch. This to me felt like a just stay busy kind of match.
I agree that it did. And yeah, it was obviously it allowed Taira to at least hold his place in line. It allowed both these guys to pick up a check. So I'm happy for it. Certainly there was nothing else on this card that could have headlined even a fight night. So yeah, it was a keep busy fight, and it was an absolute shit kicking. It won't make any year-end lists, but this is about as lopsided a main event as we're likely to have all year in the UFC. All Park managed to do was delay the inevitable. He landed less effective offense on his opponent in that long a fight than any other main event competitor I can think of. Like,
Yeah, I think he landed. The only thing I remember is he got one elbow when Tyra was on his back right at the very end of the first round. He kind of pressed the cage and he like kind of threw this like back elbow, and Michael Bisping made it seem like it was the getting a right hand from Derek Lewis. But so I'm gonna do a very. I mean, this will be an extremely quick story time with Keith. My daughter had some tryouts. She went to my daughter's pitching. She's even though she's been playing 16, 18U, she's officially now just a 16U. She's been a 14U player, but she's been playing up. But she went to a tryout, and it was a private tryout, and the guy that she was going to pitch for didn't have a catcher, so he grabbed a 12U catcher, and then was like, "Yeah, I got to throw your fastball." And my daughter like looked and was like, "You sure?" And then my daughter threw it, and she actually didn't even throw as high. She was probably 3 or 4 miles an hour slower than she throws. And this 12U girl was absolutely terrified. You could see it. I'm like, we actually like, I had to turn to my daughter. And I was like, I like did like pump my hands, like, all right, slow it down for her. Like, I felt bad. And this is what it looked like. It looked like a 16U person versus a 12U person. This was an absolute mismatch. I mean, I just kept saying this. I thought it was too much too soon. And we both kind of expected Tyra to just run through him. But when you see it happen, it's like, damn, you expect a little bit more of a fight. I mean, this was a slashing.
it was a slashing, and I mean, you and I both picked Tyra by finish early, and I thought if anything was going to drag this into the middle rounds, it would be if Park clocked Tyra with something on the feet and it made Tyra a little more, just like a little more conservative. If you went, okay, I don't want to shit the bed when I have what's supposed to be kind of a gimme matchup here. But that didn't happen because as I stuck the comments up there, he lanced him with a couple of right crosses in the first 20 seconds of this fight. And I thought this thing was going to be over in 90 seconds.
Yeah. It's funny if Tyra was more of a like the way he grapples, he's a slower kind of anaconda style. And guys, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little. So I'll give you another quick story time. My regular computer I do the show with absolutely shit the bed, so I'm using another one. The problem is it doesn't have multiple USBs, so I have it has 2 USBs. I have a USB for my mic. I have a USB for my light. I don't have a USB to plug. I don't have a what do they call those wires that go right into the internet?
Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I don't have one that
Yeah.
goes into that, so I had to get one that like plugs into a USB. Then I don't have any way to put the USB in. So I will turn my. You lose his beautiful face if the internet starts struggling. I'll have to turn my lights off. But what was I saying? Yeah. Oh yeah. If Tyra had a like Charles Oliveira style grappling game to him, where he has the opportunity to jump on a submission and just jumps into it, I think this was over in 30 seconds. He has take you back, slowly working in control. Probably a little more effective overall grappling. I'm not saying it's better than Charles Oliveira, but I'm saying that style, like the Charles Oliveira style, works for Charles Oliveira. It don't work for everybody else. I think his style works more effective. But if he had that, it would have been really quick. Um, does this do anything for Tyra? I mean, other than get paid? Do you feel bad? I mean, I guess you could say all the pressure was on him. There was no pressure on Park. He showed, he can handle a pressure like that, where it's gain nothing, lose everything. Is that how you? Because that's how I was looking at it.
There's, and I say this, I feel like on half of our recaps, there's something to be said for just going out and beating the person you're supposed to beat
Sure.
badly and leaving nothing to chance. So, and that's a lesson that some extremely talented fighters never really master. So he gained something from there. He didn't get as much out of this as he seemed to think he did. I'm sure we'll talk about matchmaking next and what he called for versus what's more realistic. But no, he advanced his stock as much as he possibly could have in this situation.
What's a bigger jump in competition? Park going from Carlos Hernandez to Tyra, or Tyra going from Park to we'll say Pantoja for the title?
Oh, that's a if he were to get the title shot next, that would be the bigger jump. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the equivalent. And like, you don't lose your last fight, beat Park on days' notice, and then get a title shot. I mean, his performance tonight was absolutely flawless. I was at again. I'll give you another story time. I went to the biggest arcade. I don't know if it was the world or America. I'm not sure, but it's in it's up in New Hampshire in the like touristy areas, and they had a lot of the old style games. Like, I mean, there was a bunch of like they had like 3 floors, and like 2 of the floors was like ones you go to the arcade with like race car ones and shooting game ones like Terminator and stuff. But then they had like a whole section of like old ones. It was like Atari games and this. So I go in there and I jump on like, oh, Street Fighter. Like, I'm gonna do good. I was the man. And like I don't land a strike. I just get absolutely smoked. I did Punch Out
Mhm.
and lost to Glass Joe. I, I I got dropped I got dropped 3 times by Glass Joe. And I still had a better performance than Park had tonight. Like, you know. You think I'm joking? No, I'm not lying. I lost to Glass Joe. I'm dead serious. And
That's amazing.
I was like, oh man, I got knocked by Glass Joe. uh, so I said, so he called for Pantoja. Michael Bisping was like, everyone's hating on Bisping for correcting him and be like, I don't think you're gonna get that. Let's go with like a Brendan Moreno. I I don't think Bisping is a very good commentator. But I'll give him credit. Like, at least he said said what everyone was thinking. Like, no, dude, let's go with somebody else.
Well, here's the thing. I think he's at least behind Manel Kopp and Josh Fan in line. And if either of those guys beats Pantoja, then he's also behind Brandon Royval in line. Because the only reason Royval isn't getting another shot is that he's already lost to Pantoja a million
Sure.
times.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The reason why he's in line is because of the Pantoja thing, where Pantoja has already beaten so many guys that they can't like run it back. He's beaten Moreno, he's beaten Royval multiple times each. He's obviously just beat Urseg, and obviously he beat Kyra France multiple times. I'm okay with him jumping Cop because Cop is so inactive, the weight issues, the injury issues, but there's no way he gets a shot. I don't care if they put a card. I don't care if they put a major pay-per-view in Japan. There's no way he's jumping over my boy Josh Van. We riot. We riot, guys.
We riot. Like we saw earlier on the card, Kyoji Horiguchi walking out Rinya Nakamura. I would rather see Kyoji Horiguchi step right in and get an immediate title shot than Taira. Yeah.
I like 1 foot out the door saying it's impossible. Dude, I lost. I kept trying to block and I was not timing the blocking. I tried moving. Dude, I swear to God, I got dropped 3 times by Glass Joe. It was so embarrassing. I other than Pac-Man, I didn't get past 1 level in any single game. I was like, damn, I didn't realize you get this bad so quick. I did remember Paperboy?
Yeah.
Where you had to like throw the papers and you had to like void the grass and like avoid like I don't know the curb.
There's a dog. Yeah.
No. I never got to the dog. Like I didn't get 1 blocked on the road. I think I remember I had like 3 lives. I delivered 1 paper. I delivered 1 paper. I couldn't get past I think the first 2 times I didn't get past the first house. Then I finally got past the first house. That's it. That's as far as I gotten. There was one with these cars. I don't know the game, but they like go over like dirt things. I came in last place every single time. Anyways, my video games things are not good. I'm actually gonna go with Bisbing's suggestion and go with Brandon Moreno. Did you have a different name?
For me, it was either that or Cop. Honestly.
Okay, and I'm going like a fight night main event.
Definitely, yeah. Or the co-main when Pantoja defends against Van or whoever's next. You know, so that you have a little redundancy if somebody falls out. You know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to sit on the sidelines and wait for Pantoja, I mean, if Brandon, if Josh Van wins, the whole division's wide open again.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Other than Royval, everybody else is back in the mix. So, what do you do with Park? To me, when you main event a card, you can't go like he can step from the Carlos Hernandez to the Taira. Like he's got to be somewhere in between those 2 guys, but that gap is so big. I still feel you have to be closer to the Taira because you just headline a card. Agree or disagree?
No, I agree. And he did look really good and very promising right up until this fight. And yeah, he's stepping up on short notice to take on an absolute stud. So
So a lot of people are throwing out Albazi's name. I know people are saying he's got some serious health issues. There are some heart conditions and all kinds of. Who knows if Albazi, if he fights or if he fights anytime soon. I went with a name, but I don't know if it's that much. I mean, it's definitely a step up from Carlos Hernandez, but I don't think it's that huge. I'm giving it Alex Perez.
Alex Perez, that seems to be what he's kind of falling into here. I am A-okay with that. I'd also be okay with, I mean, Kai Asakura and Tim Elliott are fighting in a couple of weeks. I don't even care winner or loser if one of those guys comes out relatively uninjured.
Yeah, MMA Rex said that he went with the loser of that matchup.
Yeah.
So that name kept getting thrown out a little bit.
If the loser is Elliott, he might just retire or something.
Yeah,
like he's been injured. He's been on the shelf. Yeah.
AJ McKee Jr. Is in Estevam, who also fought tonight. But what is that fight gonna be at? Featherweight? Like that guy can't make weight. So before that, so we got to. I mean, there's not much to talk about when the guy just absolutely trashes the guy. So let's go on. Co-main event: Matthias Rebeski took on Chris Duncan. Duncan winning unanimous decision. So me and Ben, we will disagree on fights, but even when we disagree on fights, we don't disagree like adamantly.
Yeah.
This is one in a long time where we disagreed adamantly. And my man Ben, I'll give you the flowers. This was a great upset call. You took Chris Duncan. I'm not gonna give you too many. I'm not gonna give you too much praise because this is the one fight I got wrong on the entire fucking card.
The one fight you got wrong on the entire card. The 3 other fights where we disagreed, I wasn't just wrong. Well, okay.
This is a good one. This is a good
Klein Polyayev one. I don't feel bad about my wrong decision there because like I had the right idea. Picking Easy Dos Santos and Nora Cornell, we were never speaking of those again after tonight. So
yeah. Yeah. But Chris Duncan, this is a good call. Let me ask you this. So to me, this is a fight of the year candidate. Not only is it a fight of the year candidate, this might win it.
It seriously might. And I figured the fight of the night was already sewn up by the time they walked out.
So did I.
This fight was most of the time when you get a fight of the year type contender, it's either 2 championship level fighters just fighting at the absolute pinnacle of the sport, just like this chess match, this game of inches, or it is 2 mid-card guys like this that have just decided to disregard defense entirely and just swing. This was one of those.
So it's rare when we have teammates, and I know American Top Team is so freaking big. It's like it's hard to call each other teammates.
It's 3 teams under one roof now. Like if you train under Conan versus Pahumpa versus Mike Brown, you might as well be on a completely different team.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure they still see each other in gym, and when so it's rare for the guys to fight, but when one guy absolutely destroys head kicks a guy knockout, that must be a little awkward around the gym. These are one of those ones. I'm sure it's still awkward to see the guy you just fought and you both beat up, and we'll get to that. We'll talk to that damage in a second. I think this is one when you show up as a loser, your head is still a little higher than normal.
I think they're both going to get a standing ovation when they walk into the gym. Hopefully, hopefully they're not back on Monday. But like, I think everybody in that giant ass gym is just going to give them a standing O. Like,
that fight was. I mean, that fight was insane. Which leads to
that was a 15-minute infomercial for American Top Team, because not only was it a fantastic fight, both of those guys have moved to ATT within the last 2 years, and they are much better fighters than they were.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that with Duncan in a second, but I want to ask this question that I asked on Twitter. Me and you have watched tons of fight, and I'm sure there's a fight out there. Is this the greatest heavyweight fight? No, it's not the greatest heavyweight fight I've seen. Is this the greatest UFC fight? No, it's not the greatest UFC fight. Is it up there? Absolutely. Have we seen guys get more damage? Yes. But here's my question. have we seen a fight where both guys got this much damage before?
That's a really good in the UFC.
And
Maybe
they'll
not.
leave it just to the UFC.
Yeah, because I mean,
I'm
Nicholas
sure
Dalby versus Ross
Jay will pull
Houston.
out.
No, but I mean, Nicholas Dalby versus Ross Houston in Cage Warriors is
Yeah,
the fight that got him re-signed, where they had to stop it because they were
stop
bleeding so
because
much.
sliding.
But
Yeah,
in the UFC, it might be. I have to think about it. I'm sure one will occur to me. If you're watching right now, think of the bloodiest UFC fight you can think of, where the blood was coming from both fighters,
I mean,
and
you
let
had
us know what you got.
the first round. You had. I thought the fight was going to stop because this absolute
Oh,
hematoma on Rebeski. Then
oh,
he's got a cut that's just leaking.
Lawler McDonald won. The nose is smashed. The lip is ripped wide open. Like each of them had a permanently disfiguring looking injury on their face.
that was their second fight.
Oh, sorry, the second
Yeah,
one where,
all right.
yeah, Rory's nose is sideways.
But these guys had multiple injuries. So I mean, Rebeski had the egg. Then he has the eye. The eyes. I thought the eye was going to be stopped in
Yeah.
in the first round. Then it goes from a cut to complete. I don't know how a referee allowed it when it was completely closed, swollen. And I'm saying, I'm watching it. I'm going one round each, and I'm going, holy shit. I think it's one run each, but if you go by actual damage, Duncan's beat up, but he's beat up in like, oh, that was a pretty good fight, beat up, like, well, you got a lot of damage beat up, but not like historic. And then in the third round, I'm like, oh man, Rebeski has a chance to win this, but I don't think he's gonna. And then suddenly he bust open a cut on Duncan, and he's bleeding. He looked like, you know what it looked like? Remember, here's another for those doing the drinking game at home. Hit the shot for a 1990s pro wrestling. It looked like remember the Road Warriors of Legion Doom, where Hawk had the red down here. That's what it looked like. Like it looked like paint down his face, and then Rebeski had the other side of Hawk where the paint's going this way. And then at the end, they both looked like they had animals paint. I mean, it was nuts. Let me ask you this. So you said both guys improved, and I think that's one thing. Do you believe in Duncan? This guy's won 3 fights in a row. You were much higher than him. I think I doubted his ground game a lot. I grounded his ground game a lot. I mean, do I think he's a contender at that weight class? No. I mean, that's insane. But I'm feeling much better about him. Now, how much damage does this take out of him, and how many punches, and does this ruin his career? Because we've seen that where you take so much and suddenly everything's going to fall apart. But the big thing that jumped out to me was how, like, I thought Rebeski was going to take him down and really control him on the ground, and that wasn't the case. In fact, he might have got taken down, but he was the one almost catching submissions and getting Rebeski in trouble.
Yeah.
So do you believe?
No. I picked him to win. I love the fight. I did score it for Duncan. There were, some people who scored it for Rebeski, but it doesn't make me believe in Duncan. It just makes me glad that he's going to be here at least that much longer. I mean, he's 5-1 in the UFC right now. He could lose his next 3 fights in a row, and if the fights don't suck, he's fine. But a guy that is as modestly skilled as he is, as modestly athletic as he is, and gets into fights this wild, he's never going to string together enough wins to get even a top 15 type opponent. Like, all I want is for him to win enough that I can keep seeing him in the UFC. I believe in him to that level, but no, he's not a future contender. No.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't think you could take the amount of damage that he took in this fight and be 6. I mean, obviously, someone will say, "Oh, Justin Gaethje." Okay, that's the exception to the rule. But it's 5-1 in the UFC. I think it is going to be one of those. It's how long is it going to last? It's probably not going to last that long, but hell, is it going to be fun? I'm going to matchmake. Let's matchmake him for a second. I think because of this performance, I think he deserves a name. So I'm going the winner of Bobby Green and Carlos Diego Fajeda.
I like that just fine. I was a little lower. I was giving him the winner of Jared Gordon and Rafa Garcia, but I like yours just as well. Like, I was just,
though? I think name wise, my guys are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Stylistic toughness wise, your guys might be better.
I kind of agree, because here's the thing:
Maybe.
if he fights Jared Gordon might just beat him and not make it very interesting. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I just think like obviously like you get like a Bobby Green. That's a guy who's headlined the UFCs before. Obviously, Carlos Diego Ferreira has been a ranked guy. That's why I think those guys' names are bigger. At this point, are they better? I don't know. I think they're at least in the same like realm. You know, they're in the same tier of how tough they are. But either way, that was a incredible fight. For some reason, if you're watching this recap show and you missed it, you just watched the main event, so I have to go back and watch that. Before that was a fight that we thought for sure was lock of the night, fight of the night, insane matchup. Elvis Brenner taking on Esteban Ribovics. Ribovics winning unanimous decision. It's weird. I mean, like, this is a fight of the year candidate.
yep.
And likely, if they only give out one fight of the night, and if they do, that'll be a freaking tragedy. I don't think it wins fight. I don't think it wins fight of the night.
No, I think it probably doesn't. Oh, all right. Here, let's just spoil it. No performance bonuses. 2 fights of the night tonight.
Oh, you know what? The UFC doesn't do the right thing. That was the right way to go. I mean, obviously,
Brilliant.
there's guys like Nakamura having, performance and Magny coming out. Like, all those are cool, but we had 2 fight of the year candidates. That's the way to go. Good job, UFC.
Yeah.
And I agree. You agree that's the way to go?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm good with that.
Anybody in the chat want to disagree and say, hey, and let's just go with they're giving out 4 people fights. Don't go like, well, this guy should have got money. This guy. I mean, you're giving 4 people money. Who you give it to them? If you don't agree, if you don't think. And then MMA Rax is mentioning Vallejos and Silva. That was a pretty good action fight. And you know what? The female fight in the opener was pretty good too.
It was. Yeah.
So
It was more interesting than I expected.
317. That is the amount of strikes, significant strikes thrown by Rivers in a 15-minute fight. I mean, this dude's pressure output is insane.
It really is. You pretty much said it. The interesting thing was that, and obviously there are people in the chat that scored the fight for Brenner. I did not, but he never went away. He never wilted.
No.
And when he landed, it was heavy every time. Like,
yeah. It's funny. Every time he landed something big, and you'd say, oh, man, Rivers got to stop and back up a little bit and gather. So he did it. He would throw like a 20-punch combination. It was all right. Obviously, I'm exaggerating on the amount, but you get my point. Like he'd throw like a 6-punch combination right afterwards. I give all 3 rounds to Ribovics. If you want to give 1 round to Brenner, I would have a hard time scoring 2 rounds for Brenner, but either way, he's obviously has had a nice run so far in the UFC. Ribovics. I know he lost his last fight before this, but I mean, do you believe in him, man? I mean, again, it's that weight class. That weight class is insane, but.
Here's the thing, and I can't remember whether I said this on our preview, so you please forgive me if I did. Everyone listening, you have to remember that what we've had for the last 5 years, where the lightweight top 5 has basically been Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, just these insanely aggressive, exciting fighters who were in exciting fights every time, but are also some of the best people in the division. That's the historical exception rather than the rule. And once those guys all retire or age out, that kind of fighter is going to go back to topping out at the Esteban Ribovics, Benoit Saint-Denis level. It is hard to be a top 5 fighter in a division as deep and skilled as lightweight if you're always offense first. I mean, we're fortunate and blessed to have Ribovics around. I believe in him to the extent that he's now 4-2 in the UFC, and like I said, he should be 5-1, and you can make an edge case that he should be 6-0.
Yeah.
But even at his age, he's taken so much punishment.
Yeah.
It would be like another Gaethje or Poirier coming along now. And they were fortunate enough to, especially Poirier, to spend a lot of their early part of their career in much shallower versions of these divisions.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to throw another name in there, I know he hasn't been in the top 5 for, like you talked about the other guys. Eddie Alvarez at one point would fit in that category.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Tony
but
Ferguson, dude. Yeah,
oh
like
yeah, Tony Ferguson. There's another one. But yeah, that is one we're going to talk about, like golden age of lightweight, because it wasn't that long ago where Benson Henderson was the king of the division, and
yeah.
he obviously was nothing like those guys.
No.
And I mean, even when a guy like you think of an action guy like Frankie Edgar because of like Gray Maynard's fight, but Frankie Edgar had a lot of L step in jab,
Yeah.
sneaking a single leg. So um I believe in him, but again, to like harp on your point, like I think a top 10 is the peak because of his lack of defense. He has no defense.
No.
And again, I think we're going to go back. I agree with you. I think the technical skills that are evolving right now, I think we're going to go past the Rock'em Sock'em that we're kind of still currently in. That said, I want him to get another big test.
Same.
I'm giving him Ludwig Klein in the fight night main event, like co-main event.
I'm giving to Michael Johnson.
Ooh,
Johnson has now won 3 in a row again for the first time in like 12 years. He is all about knocking off people 12 years younger than him.
I don't mind that,
Let it
and
ride.
I don't mind it in like if you have a pay per view and it's like a prelim, like the top prelim, but
Top prelim. Yeah.
they get to be on the like press conference day.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Michael Johnson, I wouldn't say he's good on the mic, but he says something. He'll say silly shit,
Mm-hmm.
so they can kind of help get Rivers over a little bit. So yeah,
And
I don't mind that.
if you get in his face at the ceremonial weigh-ins, he'll slap the hat off your head. Like he's he's live, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Before that, the only ranked bantamweights on the card, which was still fourth from the top on a Apex card, Carol Hossa took on Nora Canali. I butcher her last name. Talk to me about this fight.
No, I won't. I refuse to talk. I mean, this wasn't a fight. This was a citizen's arrest.
The first round
Like
was good.
the first round was okay, and then Hossa just took Cornell down and waited for the cops to arrive. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah, when he the first round was fun, and I mean, I really could have been scored either way. I thought Cornell did pretty well, and I actually thought the momentum was going her way, and I'm like, oh, this might turn out bad for Hossa, because when the pressure was coming, she didn't like, because she's usually the more of the bully type, win the clinch battle. She was losing it, and then she got that takedown, and it was a wrap. Because not only did she get the takedown, and I heading the third, I was like, well, maybe she'll won't overextend herself, and she'll stop a takedown, and she could win. But I think the top and the damage she was able to do, especially at the end of the second, zapped anything that she had left. So the next takedown came even easier.
yeah, I obviously me picking Cornell was a terrible pick, but I was right that Hossa wasn't going to be able to push her around in the clinch. I just didn't realize how bad her takedown defense was in space. Because it wasn't like Hossa was inching for takedowns against the fence. That's what I pictured them ending up in. I'm like, if Hossa has to get her takedowns from there, I don't think she's going to have easy sledding. But instead, she was shooting double legs on her in the middle of the cage and just made her look like a tackling dummy. Like Cornell's feet did not move from the time Hossa dropped levels till she hit her on the hips. It looked like a tackling drill. I'm so frustrated right now.
Yeah.
I am not. I hate bad wrestling as much as you do.
Yeah, she made Carol Hossa look like Helen Rulis out there.
She made Carol Hossa look like Carol Hossa made Sarah McMahon look.
Yeah. So the thing is you have to have, if you're going to be a striker or a bully, you don't have to have both, but you need to have one. It's either takedown defense or a good get-up game. And they are separate.
Yeah.
But you got to have one. And sometimes actually having a bad takedown defense but a good get-up game could actually help you if you're the cardio bully, because you're kind of giving them hope by getting takedowns, but draining that cardio, because now you got a takedown, you just pop right back up, and they did all that work and kind of drained their hope and their gas tank. and then you can kind of
Oh,
put it on a little bit more.
it's what happens every time Logan Storley loses.
Yeah, but in this
Yeah.
case, I mean, Cornell had neither, and they were bad. Like the only thing worse than her takedown defense was her get-up game.
Cornell needed like a pillow. Like she was just getting comfortable down there.
She's done it like the Tempur-Pedic, you know. What are we gonna do with Hosa? I mean, she's a name. She's fought. I mean, she's been a ranked fighter for a really long time now. She's fought everyone in the division. I don't believe in her. Like I still look at her recent run. What do you have for her?
Jacqueline Cavalcanti.
Oh, you're giving her like a prospect. You're giving her someone.
I don't believe in Hosa either. So you're either going to smash her up against somebody that she's already fought. Because here's the thing. She's only 30, but she's been in the division so long, and it's such a shallow division. She's already fought a lot of the other people. Cavalcanti is younger, and while I don't think she's great either, if she wins a couple more fights, she's actually in the title picture. Yeah.
I'm giving her Juliana Pena.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Fight too.
You know what?
She might win.
I like that fight because I have 2 more weeks of vacation to use before the end of the year, so I can definitely use one for the weekend that fight is. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so Ben's gonna get 2 more weeks of vacation. That's because it's his 12th week of the year vacation. So everyone fill out your applications for sherdog.com.
Hey man, I took off the week that you're gonna be in town.
Oh, there you go. Yes, that is coming up soon. 2 weeks. So obviously I'm joking about the 12 weeks. I would put it as like, I know some people say the Apex coming in. I would probably go like top prelim of pay-per-view just because Juliana Pena can still sell a fight. Like say what she wants.
Yes.
She's still like she's not, again, like somebody said, not good on the mic, but she says memorable things, if that makes sense. She's annoying, but people remember.
She's the female Tito Ortiz.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like she says something that you can tell that she thinks it's a huge zinger, but it's actually just dumb.
Yeah. Before that, Neil Magny, 2 veterans, Neil Magny taking on Alessio Selesky dos Santos. Magny winning by second round TKO. I will say this: Magny's skills have still declined, but his will hasn't.
It was,
and I still think,
yeah,
good. I still think there's going to be times where his will make up for his lack of skills, and I think, and there's going to be a time where his skills decline so much that like his dog in him won't be able to make it up. But luckily for him tonight, there was still this. But Magny's this dog, and as soon as Selesky slowed, Magny swarmed him. And honestly, I didn't think this was possible. I think Magny broke him.
I think you're right. Yeah, it was a classic Neil Magny comeback performance. He's done it several times at this point. This was his 35th UFC fight. He's done that. Obviously, the Hector Lombard one is the most memorable one, but he's done it a couple of times. MMA Racks makes a good point. Skills wise, getting out clinched on the fence, which has normally been kind of his wheelhouse, is a sign that he's on his way out skills wise, but he survived those sequences. And when that dude smells blood in the water, it's still like, yeah, great stuff. Like, I'm happy to be wrong in this case, and happy birthday to Neil Magny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His birthday too. So, yeah, Magny. I mean, the other one I would stand out, you said Heck Alarm. Another one I think it was like the Mike Malott one. That's obviously later in his career, but another one where he kind of like was getting killed. Shout out to Ricky Fernandez giving us a tip. Nice job, buddy. Thanks so much. Appreciate you, Ricky. When you're on a recap show with the kind of card we have, we gotta have I gotta have to like scrape for material. I'm gonna make an argument, and you know how I feel about the UFC Hall of Fame. Everyone's gonna get in. I think the UFC Hall of Fame is a joke. But if you argue for Jim Miller to get in the UFC Hall of Fame, and Jim Miller gets in, and I don't think he should, but he does, doesn't Neil Magny kind of fall in that same category?
If anything, Magny he might be more deserving on a strict merit level. Like there, I put Magny in between Jim Miller and Donald Cerrone. They are both guys that just became fan
Sure.
fan favorites or became stars to a certain level just through sheer longevity, sheer output, being kind of basically decently memorable people. Cerrone was probably the most accomplished of the three. You remember when they came over from WEC, he was actually kind of in the title picture, at least remotely. Like if he hadn't lost to Benson Henderson right on the way out of WEC, he's a guy that would have been fighting for titles. Like, it was that close. I'm totally with you. If Jim Miller belongs, then Neil Magny does. And as much as I love Jim Miller, if he didn't actually have all those records, I don't even think it'd be discussion right now. It would be like saying it about Clay Guida.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Obviously, he has those records, so we can't just say, "Oh, we don't have those records, ignore him." I mean, obviously, that's the argument. But yeah, Magny has these stoppages. He's got the welterweights. He actually was probably ranked in the top 15 longer than Jim Miller. And I know the top 15 rankings, probably the official UFC top 15 rankings, weren't really around probably the peak of Miller. Maybe not. I'm not really sure, but Cerrone, when you mentioned him, the one thing I'll say about Cerrone, I mean, he had those records and everything too, and obviously those have been broken, but Cerrone made himself a star. Magny and Miller had never made himself a star. And of course, he got himself attached to Connor and other things, and he's got the cowboy hat, and he's got a little bigger personality than those two guys. Not a little bit, much bigger personality. And that obviously goes with it. I want to shout out because I didn't know we had a. We're talking about the UFC Hall of Fame, but I got to shout out my man Antoine Willis, our main man. I didn't know he was on the NFL Hall of Fame voting list because he clearly voted for Eric Allen and did that. He was pretty good, and he's been waiting a really long time. I'll give him my vote. Like that's Antoine Willis. He'd vote everybody in. Antoine, let me ask you this question. I didn't know the answer. Antoine, Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? And just for the record, he's not. He's not. But he's going to get in. But he's not. He was never like a top player in the NFL ever. Yes, he had 2 super runs. Cool.
Yeah, 2
Jim
super
Plunkett,
runs and a very
Jim
famous
Plunkett
last
won
name.
2. Yeah. Change his last name to Smith. He's not getting in. Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls. He's not in. Anyways. But my man Antoine Willis, he's voting for him.
Eli Manning Madoff. Because of his last name. All right.
Yeah. He's a Saeed Nurmagomedov of the family. All right, matchmaking. Neil Magny. I mean, it's this thing's a zillion ways you go for him. I'm giving him Steven Thompson. Somehow those guys have not matched against each other. I'm booking.
I like it just fine. Like the ways you can go
co-main
with this,
of a fight night.
Yeah, I mean the ways you go with this, you either just put him with a fellow kind of aging, fan favorite like that. I was going to throw him to another kind of new name that's making noise, Islam Dulatov, that won his UFC debut just a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so you're going a much different route than me.
Yeah, and, just keep using them like they did in the Malott fight. Separate the wheat from the chaff.
SOS saying Jared Allen got in. Yeah, that's not a good argument. Like lowering the bar, saying somebody else who shouldn't have got in isn't the argument to let somebody else in. We just keep lowering the bar, everyone will get in. You gotta at least be like, you gotta be. I never once, and I know again, I never once watched Eli Manning and be like, dude, I'm watching an all-time great.
Hey, greetings to Mr. Marcel Dorf of our man in Amsterdam.
I don't know what it is. I don't know who Big Marcel is. I don't know who that guy is.
Keith is messing around.
The first fight of the main card, I'm pretty good. I think people on Twitter was exaggerating how good this fight was. It definitely picked up later as the fight went on, but Danny Silva took on Kevin Vallejos winning unanimous decision. This is what will stand out to me, this fight. Very evenly matched. When I was watching these guys, I'm like, these guys are like, the skill set is right there for both these guys.
Yeah, completely appropriate.
I mean, all 3 rounds. I scored all 3 rounds for Vallejos, but all 3 rounds are close. So like I went 30-27, but the fight was much closer than a 30-27. Like how people view it 30-27.
Completely agree. There are some 30-27s that feel very competitive. There are some that don't. This one, each individual round was very competitive. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, good fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight, but watching them move forward, I'm probably going to be in the minority of this. I feel like both of their stock dropped a little bit to me. Like I didn't like the way they were fighting, and what I mean by that is I'm watching Silva, and I'm seeing him faint and faint and you know I like feints,
Mm-hmm.
but every once in a while you got to act on the feint. Like I was watching it, I was coaching wrestling. I actually been on the wrestling room for a couple of weeks, but I was coaching wrestling, and the guy did a lot of feints, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool to feint. You got to react, but then you got to like move. Then you got to attack now. You got to feint, and then go. Eventually, you got to go. The feints don't
Yeah,
matter. And
yeah.
that's how he kind of like the first round. He kind of gave he gave away the whole first round by just not matching the output of Silva. Excuse me, of Vallejos.
Mm-hmm.
Vallejos. What I didn't like about him was he pressure, and then he kind of get him in the one track, and he throw like 1 or 2 punches. I'm like, dude, this is the whole thing of pressuring a guy. You got him where you want him. Now go.
Yeah, if you feint and don't actually throw the strike or change levels, then it just looks like somebody playing a fighting game with like the controller's battery ran out, and so now they're just standing in front of the other guy like this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I still want to say, like, obviously Vallejos, his record, his age, he's if you count like he's 2-0 in the UFC. His only loss is to Gene Silva. So I mean, there's a lot of things to like about him. I mean, how far did this guy go? Are you a believer in him? And again, I know we always say this, the division, obviously, if he was a
Vallejos.
heavyweight, we'd be super excited, but
I like I liked how you said that both guys' stock dropped for you. I don't know if it like flat out dropped, but where we watched Taira versus Park, and I came out of that saying, okay, I now want to see Taira fight some higher ranked people. This didn't make me excited for either of these guys to fight like even a fringe top 15 ish type
totally
opponent.
agree. Totally agreed. Like
Having said that, Vallejos is really young and very
sure,
athletic.
sure.
So who knows? But
Yes,
right
agreed.
now, agreed. Yeah.
All right, so Antoine, well, it's just I know I keep going to jump back to NFL because I'm super passionate when it comes to like NFL and MLB Hall of Fames. He mentioned Aaron Donald. Yes, that's the type of player that should be in the Hall of Fame. This is how I view all Hall of Fames. If you have to ask the question if this person's a Hall of Famer, then they're not. That's how I view Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame was set up like you take the Baseball Hall of Fame, like who they set the Hall of Fame up for. It was Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth and Tris Speaker and those type of level plays, Cy Young, and that was what the Hall of Fame was made for. I'll even bash my own team. It wasn't made for Jim Rice. That's not who it was made for. It was supposed to be for when you tell the story of baseball, these are the people you talk about.
Oh,
Nobody's mentioning when they speak of baseball how great Burt Blyleven was.
that's the one I was going to say. Because here, Blyleven has all the numbers, but it's like a Neil Magny thing. Like Blyleven's in the Hall of Fame. He was never one of the 10 best pitchers in the league at any point in his career. But you
Exactly.
end up with like
Yeah.
top 50 all time numbers just from sheer longevity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody in history ever said
Oh,
no man's going to win a UFC title.
no.
No
No,
one in history said Jim Miller could beat the champion. Never.
I'm
Donald
older than
Trump. No
you.
one said Donald Story could win
Yeah.
the title. Never.
It hurts me to say this. You know, I grew up in the DC area. I'm, a few years older than you. It's the Art Monk thing. Like,
Yeah.
Art Monk
Yeah.
was
I
the
totally.
man for us. But
Sure.
yeah, he was a possession receiver who stuck around for 15 years. Of course, he has
Yeah.
like a ton of
Yeah.
numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very like a snob when it comes. I think you should have one shot at the Hall of Fame. I think the voting should have to be 92% or something stupid like that. It should be no brainers.
Mm-hmm.
With the Hall of Fame coming up, I saw the like who are the nominees for this year, and it's actually a really good class. But like next year's class, and it was, oh god, I don't remember who it was, but it was like Drew Brees, like obviously, guys like that. Like those are the guys. Aaron Donald. I know he's not next year's class, but those are the guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not Like, all right, I'll give you one. I'm gonna give you a shot. I can't believe Devin Hester's in. Like, no returner should be in. Like, yeah, okay, every once in a while he returned a touchdown. Big fucking deal. Devin Hester should not be. Anyways, we're going off the rails, and I got to be at a softball game. Like, I got to leave in 4 hours. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's get. But when I say we're getting off the rails, we're gonna really get off the rails because this is everyone's favorite time of the show. We need the. I want the people in the chat to join us with this. I think that's a fun question. I think people have fun. This is a know your host question. So this is when we take a break from the action of MMA and we talk life and getting to know me and Ben and guys in the chat, guys and gals in the chat. Here's the question, Ben. Realistically, I don't want you throwing out Brad freaking Pitt. Who would play Ben if there was a movie about your life?
Oh my goodness! If you're going for appearance, I mean, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I got told I looked like Brandon Lee all the time. Like I was like leaner and more chiseled.
That's racist.
It's not. We're both half Asian. It makes all the sense in the world. It's like it's the good kind of racist. It's the kind of racism that's based in actual evidence.
You didn't get Jackie Chan?
No. Yeah. So, like in terms of appearance, I actually got that. You know, rest in peace, Brandon Lee. Yeah, that works for me. In terms of like the actor's actual vibe, I don't know, someone like Vince Vaughn that just talks real fast and is kind of sleazy.
Dude, honestly, I think Vince Vaughn actually is a good call for you.
Except that he's like 6'6" and I'm 5'9", but yeah.
But like personality wise, yeah, that's actually a good call. All right, I'll make it a little tougher, and you got to be set. Who would play your wife in the movie?
Okay, I ran this by her just in case she was.
Was she not insulted by it?
Yeah, and I gave her a chance to throw up a suggestion. She does not look anything like her, but the kind of dry, deadpan humor she has is very Janine Garofalo.
Okay, so she wasn't. She liked that. She wasn't insulted by that.
She was A-okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, here's a fun one. Who would play Adam? Adam Duffy, a young, studly Adam Duffy.
You know what? I thought about this. I actually texted Adam to see what he would think of it. He did not get back to me in time. He is kind of like the talented slacker type. You know, he doesn't. Yeah, I'm still fishing for it. You know, and all the ones I can think of are people that were in teen movies 20 years ago because I'm old. So I'm thinking stuff like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
even though Freddie Prinze Jr. is like 45 years old.
Yeah. But like what? Like she's all that Freddie Prinze, like that age when he was like the stud.
Okay, Jace X, who knows my wife and has met her and has actually like stayed at my house as Kristen Ritter from Mrs. Duffy, she would take that as a compliment because she likes. I mean, she liked the Jessica Jones show. She liked Breaking Bad. So yeah, she'd be all about the Kristen Ritter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I had to look up who that was. For me, I think so. As I'm a redhead guy. What happens always is anybody who's redhead ever be like, "Oh, you guys can be brothers." Like we all look alike. Like that's the thing. The only redhead that I've been said I look like that I didn't feel insulted by was Damian Lewis from Homeland and obviously from Band of Brothers. So that, I mean, a great TV show, and then obviously Band of Brothers, possibly the greatest TV show ever or miniseries ever. So I would push for Damian Lewis. I mean, he's a little older now, but that's all right. I'm a little older. As far as my wife, Tony Hinchcliffe, Gary Busey, guys are killing Brian Scott. See, that's what I'm saying. All the redhead ones are gonna come out. Next, someone's gonna throw in Carrot Top. Someone's gonna throw that fucking skateboarder guy in. They're gonna throw in, I'm talking about a skateboarder guy.
Throw in the CSI guy. He was a redheaded cop. Like, come on.
Michael Rappaport. That's the one we get. Yeah, yeah. I guess I actually could see
Michael Rappaport, if you can't tell a New England accent from a New York
Yeah,
accent, maybe.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I can see Michael Rappaport, Ron Howard. Yeah, I get that one. Ron Howard.
but Ron Howard's
Uh,
hair color is now none, so like
yeah,
that doesn't count.
yeah, yeah. Go with the guy who played Corky, and was that Life Goes
Life goes
On?
on. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, yeah.
As far as my wife, she's not an actress, but she probably. I mean, maybe she's been in a movie. I don't know. The people had said my wife looked like was Jewel, the singer.
Okay.
So funny story. My friend Larry, you have to know my friend Larry. He's just like he's like 15 years older than me. He's this gigantic, like super fat Portuguese guy that has a high pitched voice. No one ever takes anything seriously. So the first time he met my wife, he goes, but you gotta understand him. And he's super innocent with it. And he says, he's like, you know what you look like? That's how he talks like. His voice is like that. And mind you, imagine like a 300-pound guy saying this. You know what you look like Jewel. And then I'm like, and then his very next line he goes, I think Jewel's really hot. I'm like, dude, this guy hitting my girlfriend? Is Larry hitting my girlfriend? And I'm like, and I'm looking at this like 300-pound like Portuguese guy. I'm like, damn, dude, like, not only is he hitting my girlfriend, like, does he think we're on like the same level? Like, he could steal my girlfriend? Like, so let's I see a lot of people getting me Scott. I don't know who Scott Grimes is. I don't know who that is. What people Jesse Plemons, I don't know who that is, but a lot of people throwing out names for me. Some people throw out some names for that. I saw someone said Denzel. Tom Holland for I could see Tom Holland.
I
for
like
Adam.
that. But honestly, JSX said Eric Stoltz. If you mean Eric Stoltz as like the stoned out weed dealer or stoned out like heroin dealer in Pulp Fiction, that's actually kind of Adam's vibe.
Okay,
you know, just
that's,
like walking around like just baked and like eating Captain Crunch in his bathrobe all day, but like still like maintaining a business. That's kind of Adam. So yeah.
Oh, I see. I pulled up Adam Stoltz. If this thing that I look like, if that guy could play me, I actually wouldn't hate that one. That guy's, yeah, that's not a bad one. So, all right, guys, people had a lot of fun with. I seem like people had a lot of fun with who would play us in a movie. We'll have to do. You know what we'll have to do? I'll read the comments. Give us Dane and let's go with Dev. Tell us who would play those guys in the movie. We'll read out some comments as we go on with the rest of the fights. Headlining the prelim card, Rinya Nakamura took on Nathan Fletcher in a fight that we said was an absolute mismatch. And boy, was it. This was the fastest fight of the card. Nakamura just destroyed Nathan Fletcher, winning by first round TKO. I think Nakamura can be special. Agree, disagree?
I agree that he can be special. He looked absolutely dynamite. My takeaway from this is I still don't think Fletcher is that bad. I still think Fletcher could hang around and beat some people in one of the toughest divisions in the UFC. But one, Nakamura is that good. And two, this was just a miserable style matchup. Just there was never going to be any safe place for Fletcher to get anything done here. But Nakamura, kind of like Taira, I was impressed with how good Nakamura looked on the feet before he even really went to work.
Yeah. So obviously he's extremely athletic. We've seen him knock dudes dead, so he obviously has power, and then he has elite level wrestling. And then now he's adding a kicking game, a teep kicking game. We see him throw a lot of high kicks before, but now he's adding teep kicks and dropping guys with it. That's great to see. But what I like, and he didn't show it, and this always worries for me, is what he said. He said that he loved that he would have loved to have showed his wrestling tonight. So I obviously love wrestlers who become more well-rounded. I think like a Kamaru Usman when he was making his rise. But the guys who are most successful wrestlers will develop striking in DC, Kamaru Usman, but still did not completely neglect. Like the striking complements the wrestling. It doesn't like replace the wrestling. So if Nakamura is going to still wrestle and then add these other skills and elite athleticism, I think he can go really far. And he's not young, so he's not young, but
He's
he's like in his peak
30.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 30, but he could certainly do this at this level for another 4 or 5 years. That's enough time to figure out how far he can go. And here's the thing. I'm not saying I want him to fight uh Marab next. He needs to win like 5 more fights before then, but I'm more interested in seeing him fight Marab than anybody that he's going to have to beat on the way there.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Can we just talk about for just a second, Juice X? How did he have so many? Like, did he already do this ahead of time? He just keeps throwing out accurate people to play us in movies and play Dane, and now he's doing Death. It's like
He is.
does he do this at home? Like, what's going on?
That's how the man's mind works. I mean, just fully outing him, Mr. J. Petrie, Sherdog associate editor, has this brain that is just a fountain of trivia and pop culture connections that puts me to shame, and I'm pretty good with that shit. It's yeah.
I wonder if that's how he goes through life. Like he watched the movie, like that could be my neighbor. Oh, and he just has a checklist of people. Like it's pretty good. He's still going. He's still throwing people out there.
Oh yeah. Dude, I went with Brandon Lee. He's been dead for 25 years. Anyway.
Before that, Hidalgo Vera took on Tresean Gore with Hidalgo Vera winning unanimous decision. Do you want to talk about Vera or you want to talk about Gore first? And you're taking the lead. This fight sucks.
Oh, I don't want to talk about Gore at all. I wanted to start with the cut list tonight.
Okay. I will say this about Gore. Even though I scored all 3 rounds for Vieira, Gore could have won this fight. One thing. He went too extreme with worrying about getting taken down, like playing the defensive wrestling game so much that he forgot, like, yeah, you need some offense too.
Yes.
Like he was a guy who was like pitching a great game, but like refused to get off the field and hit now. Like, and then wonders why he loses, 3-0, and because he wasn't throwing anything. He wasn't matching his output. It's like, geez, anytime you threw punches, you landed. Jab.
Agreed.
Like the leg kick, he should have been butchering Vieira's. I think every single time he threw a kick, he kicked his leg and like kind of buckled his legs. Like, dude, kick, do something. As far as Vieira, this does nothing for me. The one thing that worries me about Vieira is he doesn't set up his entries.
Nope.
He either striking or he's wrestling. I'm like, dude, you realize when you get him pressed in the cage, throw a 2-punch combination, like 2 big hooks, and follow those hooks into your entry. Don't just throw a hook, step back, and now dive into the legs. Like, come on, dude, set up your entries.
It's almost like the guy spent the first 25 years of his life in a sport where they can't punch you on the way in. There were some positives to take away. If you look at Rodolfo Vieira tonight versus the version of him that lost Anthony Hernandez, 3-4 years ago at this point, he is physically slimmed down. He has changed his body to the point where he can fight 3 rounds at a moderate pace, including doing some wrestling, and not die. So that is nice. The time he spent with the fighting nerds, his striking does look a little crisper. He's never going to be a great striker. He's got a little of the Brock Lesnar thing where just he's so bulky and his shoulders are so wide that even just throwing a basic jab and cross looks awkward. But I said about a minute into the second round, if he beats Tresean Gore without taking him down again for the rest of this fight, Gore is automatically cut. Like if you got outstruck by Rodolfo Vieira for the last 12 minutes of a fight, you are gone. And he basically did that.
Yeah, I actually agree. Before that, Nick Klein took on Andre how do I say his last name? Help me out.
Andre Pulyaev. Pulyaev, yeah.
I can't do that. Obviously, a striker versus grappler matchup. I give Klein credit. He knew what he had to do, and he went for it right away. Unfortunately for him, Pulyaev did enough. He did enough improvement since his last fight where he was able to get back to his feet, get an underhook, work, and then to his credit, when Pulyaev had his opening, he went for it.
Yes.
Even in the first, like even like closing seconds first, he landed and Klein was not reacting good. Those kicks, obviously there was a kick that dropped him. How about the follow up kick when he falls like he falls on his ass and he kicks him again?
That was beautiful.
Oh man. Uh I'm like putting some like arrows going up on Puyayev. What else you have to add for this fight?
I mean, this is one of the ones where I picked it wrong. I picked Klein to spring the upset, even though that clearly didn't happen. I don't feel too bad about it because you know what?
He had the opportunity.
They fight 10 times.
It's
Maybe
5-5.
Klein only wins 3 or 4 of them. Maybe they go 5-5, but Klein puts himself in the best position to win every time.
He
and
did.
When, my kind of new favorite thing to harp on is there are certain fighters that are always going to be vulnerable to somebody that just knows what he wants to do and actually goes out and tries to do it. Like Nick Klein fights Kevin Holland tomorrow. I am not dead sure that Kevin Holland beats him because I know that Nick Klein is at least going to do what he does best
Sure.
and try to win the damn fight,
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen guys. I mean, the ultimate guy would be like a Michael Chiesa. Like he wants to be Michael Chiesa. Like that's the ceiling for Klein.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is
he's got the right haircut.
Yeah, he's not as good. Yeah, he has similar haircut. He's not as good as a wrestler, but like he wants to be that guy. Like I'm gonna close the distance. I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna hold you down. I'm gonna slowly wear you out and then get a submission. I love that he got a takedown and just started going ham on the guy. Like he was just throwing bombs on him when he took him down. Yeah, I actually agree with you. I actually don't think a Klein upset, even though he stopped, was a bad pick at all. Before that, a fight that we did not get to break down was Austin Bashi versus newcomer John Yanis. I'm assuming you would have took Bashi, being that he was the biggest favorite on the card.
I did, because remember, I write the preview articles for Sherdog now for the fight nights.
No reasons.
So I actually did have to preview this fight, and not to pick up my own flowers, but I said Bashi takes him down quickly in the first round, overwhelms him with some strikes, and then takes us back and chokes him out.
So there you go. That's why, first of all, that's why you should always read Sherdog prediction by Ben. But also, Ben, you need to put these things in the comments so people can click on them and watch them, because Ben can't miss. Yeah, I mean, the one thing obviously what I like that he, returning from his first career loss is, not only the first career loss, but like you weren't about a confidence booster. Like your first time in the UFC, you got trashed. Not trashed, but you lost convincingly. And he lost to a good guy, but still. But I love his age. You hear the stories of his work ethic, Bashi, that he's this guy who lives in the gym, always working. He's got obviously athleticism. He has a really great understanding of the ground game. I'm excited for his future. I mean, like this was a mismatch, and obviously the betting line says so. But he had a good performance in the mismatch.
He had a good performance in the mismatch, and this one was a stylistic mismatch on top of everything. Like I said this, Giannis won the Fury title here in Texas in May. I've seen several of his fights in person. I've kind of followed him, but he's always been a boxer, and his takedown defense has gone from terrible to decent just in the last 12 to 18 months. I thought he kind of tracked as a poor man's Adrian Yanez. So this type of fighter was a Bashi type of fighter was always going to be the worst possible matchup for him. And that's how it played out. He's a guy that would have been on the Contender Series probably this fall anyway. So yeah, he gets a little bit bigger paycheck a little sooner. I still think there's some people in the division he can beat, but this was no more or less than expected. Bashi, I still think Bashi's the real deal.
Yeah, I did too.
There's something about his gym rat quality, his kind of confidence, his physical gifts that remind me of Aaron Pico without the brain farts every single fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Bashi. I agree with you. I was sitting when you were talking about Fury, and you're like, oh, right in here, Texas. And I'm like, when are they going to do a Fury? They should do a Fury event inside of Buc-ee's. Like, they could fit it.
Oh, my goodness. I wonder if they could fill a Buc-ee's. I mean, because they get, 1,500, 2,000 people to their shows, but Buc-ee's are big.
Oh,
Hey,
I went to Bucky's in Denton, Texas on the way home after going to the casino in Thackerville, and I think there was 1,500 people in the
in the
Bucky's
bathrooms,
at like
there's
2
1,500.
a.m.
There's 1,500 people in the bathroom. Like, yeah,
Dude, at 2 a.m. in New England, if you put 10 people in a place, there's going to be a fight. Like these people are happy. I guess you need 2 a.m. pulled pork.
yeah. Like,
We
oh,
got
a
the hot
Waffle
wieners.
House here. There's going to be a fight. Yeah,
Okay, because we get the hot wieners in New England at 2 a.m., but that's going to bring a fight. But you get the pulled pork sandwiches at Bucky's. Everybody was happy. I love Bucky's. Hell, they could do a UFC card in the parking lot
oh yeah,
of
for
a
sure.
Bucky's. That parking lot's big enough. Um, Before that, Felipe Bunes took on Rafael Estevam. Before we get into the fight, Estevam won by decision. He missed weight by 4 pounds, which is a really big weight miss for Estevam. So take his win with a grain of salt. One thing I will say about him that I like is he had a smart game plan. He knew he could have slugged it on the feet, and it was probably been pretty even. But he pressured and he wrestled and he wrestled and he wrestled. And if you're a guy like Munez trying to throw submissions off your back, that shit don't work in 2025, or I should say, it really works in 2025.
Yeah.
Do you believe in Esteban?
Yes. And I even give him a bit of a pass for the weight because he did come in on short notice. He's a big dude.
Okay, I want to agree with you. And what I do, I'll give you what I like and what I don't like. I like that he had a game plan and he stuck with it, and it was a smart game plan. The weight cut thing, okay, he did take on Shonos, but this is the second time out of 3 fights.
It is. Mm-hmm.
And it's flyweight. That's the hardest one to continue to make. Obviously, as grown men are not supposed to be 125 pounds. There's a reason why the shallowest division is flyweight. It's like the two like the bookends, like the heavyweight. Grown men aren't supposed to be 265 pounds either. Like generally speaking, like those are the two extremes.
And if they are, they can probably go make more money somewhere else doing something else.
That's right. Yeah. But it's just like in anything, like the two extremes in life, are the hardest to be. But I can't be excited about a flyweight guy who doesn't fight a flyweight. And as Juice X mentioned, he would not be undersized at 135.
No.
Obviously, it's a harder division, but and opening the card was Ketlin Souza versus Pierre Rodriguez. Rodriguez winning a split decision in a pretty entertaining. I mean, people forget about it because of the other fights. It was pretty entertaining. That said, I checked MMA decisions. It was unanimous for Pierre Rodriguez. I don't know how anybody could score that fight for Souza.
Me
I don't
either.
know how anybody would. I thought for the first and third were clear rounds for Rodriguez. Maybe the second, but trying to fight 2 rounds for Souza? Did anybody else in the chat score it for Souza?
No, I gave her the second round. I don't see any way to give her the first or the third. I mean, the third round was so depressing because she got taken down and just sort of conceded bottom position. Like if there's a minute left in a fight that you need to win that round and you were throwing heel strikes from guard and not trying to get back up, get off my TV.
Like what do you hoist Gracie in an Ironman fight where you got to fight for 4 hours? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, Dev Goes Fishing says we have Jessica Andrade at home. Well, she was like Jessica Andrade in that she was comfortable with a more attractive woman laying on top of her for a while. But that's not what I'm paying to watch in terms of fights.
Oh my Lord. I'll say this about Rodriguez. It's how we constantly say division. Well, there's divisions that you can believe in people. I'm believing in Rodriguez. And she's good in 3 areas, 3 ranges. She's a good pocket boxer. As we saw tonight, if you get too close, she's going to start plumb clinching, throwing knees, battering there, and then she can get takedowns from a distance. You can make a woman, especially women, who can get takedowns, but still good in other distances. She can go far. I think Rodriguez is a sneaky one to watch in the division. Again, I don't think she's going to win the title, but
I don't think she's going to win the title either, but she's firmly middle of the pack at this point. Yeah.
All right, they have it. We've covered all 12 fights. We already covered the awards. Ben's been dying to do the cut list. The way the cut list works, if both me and Ben have the same name on the cut list, we give the UFC permission to get rid of the person. But again, both me and Ben have to have the same name. Ben, I got 4. You sound like you had even more than that. How many do you have for the cut list?
I think I only have 3.
Oh, all right. So Ben talked a big game, and he's still not angry cop. I am.
Well, I really just wanted to get to it because I wanted Gorkon.
Okay. All right. Give me your first name.
I am ready to let go of Ketlin Souza.
Wow. I was saving Ketlin Souza. So we're only going to cut 2 because you had 3 names and I'm already saving one. I did not have Ketlin Souza on my list.
I'm open to being convinced.
All right. What's your second name on the list?
I am ready to let go of Nick Klein.
Okay. I did also have Nick Klein, 0-2 in the UFC. Just he's not UFC level. Okay. So we agree on Nick Klein. Even though you did like his style a little bit, I kind of agree with it. Like his game plan, I'd say. But yes, he's not going to win a lot in the UFC. Who else do you have?
I have Trayshawn Gore.
The dude's got a pro record of 5-4.
Pro record of 5-4. He's 2-4 in the UFC. He's injured a ton, so he fights like once a year.
Yeah. He missed weight. He hasn't shown big improvements. He got outstruck, as you said. He committed the worst sin possible, getting outstruck by Adolfo Vera. So we have agreed on Trayshawn Gore. So I saved Ketlin Souza, but we got rid of Nick Klein and Trayshawn Gore. I will give you 2 names that you saved.
Maybe. I might change my mind real quick.
You saved Nathan Fletcher. If you count tough, the guy's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights, but you have saved Mr. Fletcher. And the other name you have saved, and this one's been a guy who's been in the UFC a really long time. I was getting rid of Alessio Selesky dos Santos, a fan favorite, but the dude's 38 and he has 1 win in his last 5 fights. I was getting rid of the Capoeira King, Alessio. Yeah, a guy who's Capoeira King, but he wrestles a whole lot. Let's go to Dude Seriously.
All right.
Do you have any Dude Seriously, Ben?
I do. I actually wrote them down this time.
Nice. It's not only maybe the 100th time we did Dude Seriously, and Ben finally wrote them down. Yeah. What do you got?
Okay, so in order of how egregious they are, the least egregious, I don't normally go at the announcers for just saying something weird or wrong because I know what it's like to speak for 3 hours extemporaneously.
Sure.
You're going to say a few dumb things, but in the Brenner versus Rubovic's fight, going into the 3rd round, Dominic Cruz goes, "This round is Brenner's best chance to do some damage and win this fight." I'm like, it's the last round of a 3-round fight. It's his only chance. Of course, it's his best chance.
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
Dude, no, but also, this is his best chance to do damage. Did you watch that fight? There was a lot of damage already done.
There was just a lot of damage.
Okay. Dude, seriously.
Dude, seriously. Number 2, obviously fights at the Apex don't get the same production values that a stadium card gets, but a bare minimum, if you're going to give a foreign fighter an interview, have a translator on hand. We got to see former Bellator welterweight champ Andrei Koreshkov translating for Andrei Pulyaev, and the only problem with that is Koreshkov's English isn't very good. Like, Rinya Nakamura spoke without a translator, and his English was better than Pulyaev's translator's English was.
Oh,
like, Koreshkov just kept on bumping into, "Yeah, I don't know how to say it."
That's
like,
all right.
If you don't know how to say it, then you're not the translator. Like, it's not his fault.
I was at a Bellator, and oh my God, who's the guy? Former light, he fights at heavyweight now, former light heavyweight champion, beat Ryan Bader for the title. What's his name? Russian guy. Team Fedor.
Oh, Nemkov. Vadim Nemkov?
Yeah, Nemkov. No? Yeah, Nemkov. Yeah. It was Nemkov. Vadim Nemkov doing an interview, and they didn't have a translator, and they were using Google Translate, handing him the phone and Google Translating his answer.
And Google Translate is terrible with Russian.
Yeah,
It's
that's how they want to do it. They want to do a Scrum style interview, and we got about 3 questions, and we're like, all right, like,
this sucks.
all right, this. Come on, this is the most Bellator thing ever. That's what me and the great Nolan King used to say. Just be like Bellator being Bellator. All right, but now we say PFL being Bellator.
Yeah.
All right, give me another one.
All right, number 1. And this isn't specifically this broadcast, but at this point, I've been hearing it every weekend for a month, and it is a UFC thing. So the promos for Canelo versus Crawford that keep calling Canelo one of the greatest Mexican boxers of all time. Okay. He's one of the greatest boxers of all time, period. And everybody knows he's Mexican. It's just such a weird qualifier to put on it. It's like being like, Kobe Bryant was one of the greatest Black American basketball players of all time. No, he was one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Nobody needed to be reminded that he was Black or American. It's just so weird. Like, why do you call Canelo one of the great?
Ben Duffy is one of the best half Asian commentators of the Shillan and Duffy show.
Yeah. There we go. I'm one of the top 2. Like,
yeah.
like it's to call Canelo one of the greatest Mexican boxers of all time. It's almost like downgrading him.
Yeah.
He's just one of the greatest boxers of all time. Full stop. Boom.
Yeah. I'll give you a couple extra ones. So Michael Bisping saying that they were saying I don't know if it was Cruz or one of the commentators was saying how impressed they were by VR tonight, and then Bisping, after he's about to lose and get trashed, he goes, "I was really impressed by Trayshawn Gore too tonight." Like, dude, seriously? He also said, I think it was about Duncan. This is I just saw it in my head. He's like, yeah, he's doing a really good job of moving to his right, but he's got to be careful because he's being really like telegraphed by moving to his right. So what is it? Is he doing well moving to the right, or is he telegraphing himself by moving to the right? Like, dude, seriously? How about Bisping? Not knowing that Nakamura could speak English, like, you didn't talk to him this week? Like, dude, seriously? You're on mute, Mike, Ben.
Now that you mention that, that's weirder and weirder. They spent all week together at the press conferences. There's a fighter meeting where just the announcers ask them questions to get like background. That's really, really weird. Oh, good grief. Wow.
And I'm gonna give you one of my all-time favorite, dude, seriously. It wasn't Dominic Cruz or Michael Bisping, surprisingly. It was, and I understand that the play guy's main job is to hype a card, hype a fight.
Sure.
And I understand you can exaggerate a little bit. That's like you're paid to exaggerate a little bit within reason.
Sure.
Brandon Fitzgerald said tonight, they coming up next, it was Carol Hossa versus Nora Canal. And he said, I almost fell off the couch when he said this. My wife was right next to me. I started making jokes with her. One of the most anticipated fights in all of MMA, Carol Hossa versus Nora Canal. Dude, seriously? Dude, you're telling me one of the most anticipated fights in all of MMA is 4th from the top on the UFC Vegas 108 Apex card. Dude, people are like, oh, guys, set up your dream card ever. And they're like, people like John Jones, Tom Aspinall, Ilya Taporia, Islam Makhachev, and Nora Canal versus Carol Hossa. Like, dude, seriously? What? All right, let's get to the Bulls of the Bears. The Bulls of the Bears are a stock market reference. You want to be on the Bulls list. You don't want to be in the Bears. The Bulls is good. The Bears is bad. We do it hockey style, 3, 2, 1. Ben, you know what? You don't mind if I go first?
Go for it.
I'm gonna go first on the Bulls list. I'll let you go first on the Bears list. My number 3. I'm gonna go with Esmond Rivets. He's 4-2. I mean, he only won 1 and 2 in his last, But as people, everyone was going on Twitter talking about how funny he is. He can't be in a boring fight. He's super exciting. He's a fan favorite. I'm going to go with Esmond Rivets. His stock went up. My number 2, they were both big favorites, but Japan went 2-0 on the night. I mean, Japan's wrestling has continued to rise in the world, but the MMA, there was a time, and Ben will remember this, in, I don't know, what we say, in circa 2005, 2006, where Japan was mentioned in the top 3. It was like America, Brazil, Japan,
Yes.
and MMA. And that's been a long, long time. But they're starting to creep back again. Nowhere near, not when they were Takanori Gomi and Mark Sakurai and all those guys.
Yeah.
But they're starting to creep back in. And number 1, the only fight I got wrong on the card was because of my man Chris Duncan. This guy's won 3 fights in a row. What do you say? He's 5-1, 6-1, something like that in the UFC. The guy's killing it.
5-1. Yeah.
5-1, much better. He used to be viewed as the other Chris Duncan. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe he's the alpha Chris Duncan. I want to give it to Chris Duncan, man. He's my top bull. What do you have for bulls?
Well, my line has been stolen from me. Coming up next, Duffy says, I agree with all of yours, so I'll keep it brief and only had 1 or 2.
That's true.
Jay.
That's true. Ben, I'll give you a little secret. What I'll do. I cheat, dude. I cheat. It's like how Ben cheats when we do the preview show, and Ben messes up saying something, he edits it, and I mess up something, he leaves it in there. What I do is I do the Bulls and the Bears, and if I have a bunch of Bulls, and I'll be like, okay, I have a bunch of Bulls, I'll let Ben go first, and I'll just crush all the ones he said. I'll still have some left over. If I don't have many, I will lead first.
That's
so you
smart.
can't steal them. That's the way I cheat. So there you go. It's like pulling back the curtain after you've done this show so many years now. What do you have for Bulls?
I'll throw Austin Bashi out there. He's back in the win column. He was supposed to look absolutely dominant. He did look absolutely dominant, but that's all we needed. We just needed him to get back in the saddle. He's still got the upside. He did what he's supposed to do. Neil fucking Magny did the Neil Magny thing again right on the eve of his own 38th birthday. Obviously, he's a veteran. He's been through the highest of highs, lowest of lows, but I bet going home to celebrate his birthday with his family, just a little sweeter with that win bonus hitting his checking account. So definitely Neil Magny gets it. And yeah, those are the only 2 I'll throw out.
All right, let's go to the Bears list. So these are ones who did not have a good night. Ben, I'll let you kick it off.
Oh, Bears. Nora Cornell. If ever there was a time to step into a UFC division that has traditionally been kind of the glamour division for women and fight your way into the title picture really quick, now was the time to do it. But if you can't stop Carol Hosa from doing that, we've all seen your ceiling in the division. She's already 35. She's a late crossover from kickboxing, and this was a dismal performance. So yeah, Nora Cornell probably lost more ground in her division than just about anybody else tonight. Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos. Coming into this fight, he and Magny were about the same age, both clearly on the tail end of their career. But for my money, Eliseo Capoeira was a guy that still had a little bit more of his early 30s pizzazz. He still seemed to be pretty athletic, pretty explosive. He's still knocking people down, knocking them out as recently as within the last year. But tonight he was the one that looked old. So not good. He was on Keith's cut list, and if the UFC cuts him, I wouldn't be that shocked. So that's a definite stock down moment for him. My number 1, Tresean Gore. Yeah, he didn't have maybe as far to fall. He was already kind of on the skids. But you know what? He and Rodolfo Vieira were both at new camps for this. He was at MMA Lab. Vieira was at Fighting Nerds. Vieira comes out looking physically slimmer and has honed his skills, has shored up his weaknesses to the greatest extent possible, where Tresean Gore came out, missed weight, and just put on an absolutely miserable flat performance. Terrible night for Tresean Gore. He knew he might be fighting for his job and did not fight like it.
Yeah, I agree though. So I'll keep it short. I'll only give it 1 or 2. Just kidding. When do I ever give anything short? I'm gonna go with Danny Silva because the guy, he was on a 4-fight winning streak. He could have picked up a win over a really hyped up prospect. He had the opportunity. I mean, he was right there, and if he just picked up his volume, he could have really stole. I mean, he'd be on a 5-fight winning streak. He could have stole all the juice. And I really think he let an opportunity slip. So I'm going to say Danny Silva. Uh, I've been dogging him a lot tonight. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go Michael Bisping, but specifically his in-cage interviews. He's terrible at it. It's so obvious he's so uncomfortable. He has that who do you want to call it next one in the card no matter what. Like those you call out at certain times, but he pushes it and he's not comfortable. And just get another person. Keep the 3 guys in the booth and just have someone who does that. Find somebody. One person he's going to ask 1 or 2 irrelevant questions. And just or 1 or 2 questions, and you can know when you want to pull someone in the cage or set up a the UFC wants you to set up a call out, but find somebody else to do it. And my number 1, this was a really good card. I mean, there was 2 incredible. I mean, there was really good action all the way, good stoppages. I'm going to go with Apex cards. I mean, I know it could have been low, but could you imagine those fights in front of big crowds? What a ripoff the moments that these guys could have had. Imagine how put it anywhere. You could have put this in Hartford, Connecticut, and the place would have been going crazy. People would have walked in and said, "I can't believe I spent this much money on fights, and my headliner is Hyun Sung Park. I don't even know who that guy is." But then you'd be like, "Oh my god, that was so nice." They'd be talking about these fights forever. Instead, you have 15 people in attendance. Like, come on, UFC, stop being so minor league. Apex card sucks.
Yeah, and I think we might be just about done with those. I don't think they're going to re-sign with ESPN. So when they get a new broadcast partner, maybe that broadcast partner isn't going to give them just you need to give us 28 cards a year, and we don't care if they're in a TV studio.
Yeah.
They might actually have to get back out on the road.
Well, Ben, obviously you're the senior editor of sherdog.com, so you have more say than I do. But is it time? Is it time to break the news?
Yes.
The UFC's new partner is Sherdog YouTube page. All the UFCs will be broadcast right here. The site crashes immediately. Yeah. Shout out to Mike for the. I don't know. Listen, you know me. I'm not the techie one. I don't know if our site can handle that much, but we can try. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Come on, Mike. Pull out the checkbook. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you can compete with Netflix and CBS or whoever. All right. So obviously I was bashing the Apex cards because I was just setting up the grade. I wanted to give this card an A. I mean, when you have 2 fight of the year, I mean, what else can you go with? But because of the lack of card, obviously the lack of people, the names, the very best I could give this card is a B plus. Like that was the peak. They hit the ceiling.
Yeah,
I'm giving it a B plus.
I actually exactly the score I was going to give this card for the same reasons. This was as good as this card could possibly be. And if Taira had done that to Albazi tonight,
yeah,
maybe I would have given it an A. But no, B plus was the most this card could be, and that's what it was.
All right. Always the hardest question of the night is who is the listener tonight? The chat was great. Ben, I'm going to let you kick it off. Who's our listener of the night?
Man, I'm going to have to give it to AJ McKee Jr. He popped up early, and I don't know if he's been around before or maybe under a different name, but made me laugh a couple times, reminded me of a few things, asked some good questions, went back and forth with the homies in the chat. AJ McKee Jr. is my listener of the night.
Yeah. So that's Antonio McKee's grandson? That's what's going on.
I guess, yeah. Maybe things go generationally, and he's going to be a real boring fighter.
Yeah. I don't know if this guy can count as a listener because he works for Sherdog, but dude, Juice X is pulling out lookalikes for every single person who's ever lived and who should play who in a movie. This show was made for Juice X tonight. So my list tonight is definitely going to be Juice X. So there you guys have it. We have covered UFC Vegas 108 deeper than anybody in history. It is now 1:47 a.m. I got to be leaving the house in less than 4 hours, but we will be back previewing. I don't even know what the name of the card is, but it's UFC Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez, one of our favorite fighters, Anthony Hernandez. We'll be going in depth in the most, I believe it's the most in-depth preview show in the entire world. Make sure you check that out. We'll be back next week to recap all the action. Ben, say something witty.
I got nothing. Good night, everybody.
See you guys. Thanks for listening.